Dear friends, welcome to Vedanta Bhakti Pravachanam channel. In this, we are seeing the beautiful history of Shirdi Sai Baba and his teachings. In this chapter number 7, we are looking about his wonderful incarnation. Sai Baba knew all yogic practices. He was well adversed in the 6 processes, including dhauti, that is stomach cleaning by a moistured piece of linen 3-inch in breadth and 22.5 inch in length. Khanda Yoga, that is separating his limbs and joining them again, and Samadhi, etc. If he thought that he was a Hindu, he looked like a Yaman. If he thought him to be a Yaman, he looked like a pious Hindu. No one definitely knew whether he was a Hindu or a Mohammedan. He celebrated the Hindu festival of Ramanavami with all due formalities, and at the same time permitted the sandal procession of the Mohammedans. He encouraged wrestling bowls in the festival. When the Gokulashtami came, he got the Gopal Kala ceremony duly performed. And on Eid festivals, he allowed the Mohammedans to say their prayers in the masjid. Once, during Muharram festival, some Mohammedans proposed to conduct a tajia or tabut in the masjid, keep it there for some days, and afterwards take it in procession through the village. Sai Baba allowed the keeping of tabut for 4 days, and the 5th day he got it removed from the masjid without the least complication. If we say that he was a Mohammedan, his ears were pierced, had holes according to Hindu custom. If we think that he was a Hindu, he advocated the practice of circumcision, though according to Mr. Nana Sahib Chindorkar, who observed him closely, he was not himself circumcised. Wide article in Sai Leela on Baba Hindu Ki Yavan by B.V. Dev, page number 562. If you call him Hindu. He always lived in the masjid. If Mohammedan, he had always the Dhuni sacred fire there, and the following things which are contrary to Mohammedan religion: grinding on the handmill, blowing of the conch bells, oblation in the fire, bhajan, giving of food and worship of Baba's feet by means of arghya were followed there. If you think that he was a Mohammedan, the best of Brahmins and Agnihotris, leaving aside their orthodox ways, fell prostrate at his feet. Those who went to make inquiries about his caste were dumbfounded and were captured by his darshan. So, none could definitely decide whether Sai Baba was a Hindu or a Mohammedan. This is no wonder for he who completely surrenders himself to the Lord. By getting rid of his egoism and body consciousness, thus become one with him, and has nothing to do with any questions of caste or nationality. Baba saw no difference between any two castes and even between beings. He took meat and fish with fakirs but did not grumble when dogs touched the dishes with their mouths. Such a unique and wonderful incarnation was Sai Baba. On account of the merits in my past birth, I had good fortune to sit at his feet and enjoy his blessed company. The joy and delight I derived therefrom was incomparable. In fact, Sai Baba was pure Anand and uniqueness. He was took delight at his feet, was established in his own self. Many sannyasis, sadhakas, and all sort of men aspiring salvation came to Sai Baba. He always walked, talked, and laughed with them, and always uttered Allah Malik. He never liked discussion or disputation. He was always calm and controlled. Though irritable at times, always preached Vedanta, and nobody knew till the last. Who was Baba? Princes and poor people were treated alike by him. He knew the inmost secrets of all, and when he gave expression to them, all were surprised. He was the repository of all knowledge, still he found ignorance. He was always disliked honor. Such were the characteristics of Sai Baba. Though he had a human body, his deeds testified to his goodhood. All people considered him as a god in Shirdi. Behavior of Sai Baba. Ignorant that I am, I cannot describe Baba's miracle. He got almost all the temples in Shirdi repaired through Tatya Patil. The temples of Sheni, Ganapati, Shankar Parvati, village deity, and Maruti were put in order. His charity was also remarkable. The money he used to collect as dakshina was freely distributed. Rupees 20 to some, rupees 15 or 50 to others every day. The recipients thought that was the pure charity money, and Baba wished that it should be usefully employed. People benefited immensely by having Baba's darshan. Some became hale and hearty. Wicked people were turned into good ones. Leprosy was cured in some cases. Many got their desires fulfilled without any medicine being put in the eyes. Some blind men got back their sight and some lame ones got their limbs. Nobody could see the end of his extraordinary greatness. His fame spread far and wide, and pilgrims from all sides flocked to Shirdi. Baba had his asana near the Dhuni and always rested there. He sat there in meditation, sometimes without a bath. He used to tie a small white turban on his head and wear a clean dhotar round his waist and a shirt on his body. This was his attire in the beginning. He first practiced medicine in the village. He examined patients and gave medicines. He was always successful and he became famous as a Hakim. A curious case may be narrated here. One devotee had his eyes quite red and swollen. No doctor was available in Shirdi. The other devotees took him to Baba. In such cases, other doctors would use ointments, anjans, cow's milk and camphor drugs, etc. Baba's remedy was quite unique. He pounded some biba, some carpus anacadium, making nuts, and made 2 balls of them and thrust them on in each eye of the patient and wrapped a cloth. Bandage round them. Next day the bandage was removed and water was poured over them. The inflammation subsided and the pupils became white and clear. Though the eyes were delicate, the biba caused no hurt but removed the disease of the eyes. Many such cases were cured. This is only one instance in this regard. Baba yogic practices. Baba knew all the process and practices of yoga. 2 of them will be described here. Dhauti Kriya or cleansing process. Every third day, Baba went to the well near banyan tree at a considerable distance from the masjid, washed his mouth and had a bath. On one occasion, he was seen throwing up his intestines, clean them inside outside and place them on a lamp, geometry up for drying. There are people in Shirdi who have actually seen this and who have testified to the fact. Ordinary dhauti is done by a moistened piece of linen 3 inches broad, 22.5 feet long. This piece is gurgled down the throat and allowed to remain in the stomach for about half an hour for being reacted there and then taken out. But Baba's dhauti was quite unique and extraordinary. Khanda Yoga. In the practice, Baba extracted the limbs from his body and left them separately at different places in the masjid. Once a gentleman went to masjid and saw the limbs of Baba lying in separate places. He was terrified. He first thought of running to the village officers and informing them Baba being hacked in pieces and murdered. He thought that perhaps he would be held responsible as he was the first informant and knew something of the affair. So he kept silent, but next day when he went to the masjid, he was very much surprised to see Baba hale and hearty as before. He thought that what he had seen the previous day was only a dream. Baba practiced yoga since his infancy and nobody knew or guessed the proficiency he had attained in it. He charged no fees for his cures, became renowned and famous by virtue of his merits, gave health to many a poor and suffering persons. The famous doctor of doctors cared not of his interests, but always worked for the good and welfare of others, himself suffering unbearable and terrible pain many a time in the process. On such instance, I will relate now, which will show the all-pervasive and the most merciful character of Sai Baba. Baba's all-pervasiveness and mercy. In the year 1910, Baba was sitting near the Dhuni on Diwali and warming himself. He was putting firewood into the Dhuni, which was burning brightly. A little later, instead of pushing logs of wood, Baba pushed his arm into Dhuni. His arm was scorched and burned. This was noticed by the errand boy Madhav and also by Madhavrao Deshpande. They at once ran to Baba and Madhavrao clasped Baba, his waist from behind and dragged him forcibly backward and asked, Deva, why you do this? The Baba came to his sense and replied, the wife of blacksmith at distant place was working the bellows of a furnace. Her husband called her, forgetting that her child was on her lap. She got up hastily and the child slipped into the furnace. Immediately thrust my hand into the furnace and saved the child. I do not mind my arm being burnt, but I am glad that the life of the child is saved. Thus, Baba is doing so much of service to the people and keeping the people smile. So in the part 2 of this chapter, let us see so many instances what are described in the Sai Satcharitra. Bow to Baba. Bless to all.